Hi, I'm Arnie from Effective, and in this short clip I'd like to introduce you to ways you can influence people and be positively persuasive. Imagine an iceberg. The iceberg is divided into 3 sections. The first section above the waterline is persuasion, the second section is influence, and the third section is impression. This is the way the triangle or iceberg works. The persuasion section is shown as the smallest of the 3 sections because, in reality, it is the smallest element of the 3 in terms of the time we invest in it and how frequently it occurs. Most of us will not spend a lot of our time in a formal persuasive session. It is also shown above the waterline because though it is the least frequent of the 3 sections, it is the most visible. Both the persuader and their audience tend to be aware of the situation that a persuasion event is taking place. So the persuader and the audience are both highly conscious and aware of what's going on. So in this setting, what does it take to be successfully persuasive? Firstly, you need a clear and compelling message. What point do you want to make? And is it outstanding? That is, does it stand out? Is the message clear? Secondly, you need to use a medium that is appropriate for the audience. 70% of people are visually retentive, so it makes sense to use visuals or paint pictures using language. And thirdly, you make a difference yourself. Are you knowledgeable? Do you know what you are talking about? And are you passionate about your subject? The third of these points, how you come across to your audience, is a key link to the second section, how influential you have been for this audience before you get to the presentation. If you have a poor reputation with your audience, then no matter how good your presentation or talk, the audience may not take you seriously. In contrast, if you have an excellent reputation, then even if your presentation or talk is not particularly professional, you will be given the benefit of the doubt because of who you are and what you have done for this audience in the past. So, having a positive influence is important, especially if you are attempting to persuade an audience that already knows you or knows about you. Again, there are 3 things to concentrate on to get right in order to be successfully influential. Firstly, you need credibility. You need a strong and positive track record, so people believe in you and what you say. Secondly, you need likability. People need to feel comfortable with you, happy to be in your presence and associated with you. And thirdly, you need affinity. It helps if there is a connection between yourself and those you are trying to influence, a common bond or experience, similar interests or values. However, your ability to influence successfully depends on, and is underpinned by, the third section of the iceberg, the impression section. This is by far the largest of the 3 sections, because in reality it dominates everyone's experience. We are all, always, making an impression on everyone we come into contact with, face to face, over the phone, or in print. Again, there are 3 ways in which we make an impression. We will always be making an impression through these 3 outlets. What matters is, do we care? And if we do, what impression do we want to make? The 3 outlets that create our moment-to-moment impression are how we look, how we sound, and how we act or behave. If we look, sound, and act in a particular and consistent way, then this becomes who we are to other people, our identity, our reputation, our personal brand. So if you want to be known as a friendly person, you have to look, sound, and act in a friendly way. If, on the other hand, you look, sound, and act in an unfriendly way, you will be thought of as unfriendly. So here's an idea. Choose 5 words that you would like to build your reputation around. 5 words that you would like others to describe you as. For example, friendly, helpful, positive, flexible, resilient. And for each of these words, work out how to look, sound, and act them. And if you do, and do it consistently, then that will be the impression others have of you. So perhaps our iceberg really needs to be turned upside down. How we look, sound, and behave creates our impression, which allows us over time to be influential, which in turn builds our support and confidence when we have to produce a persuasive presentation. Thank you for listening.